Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have an endless supply of self-discipline, while others struggle with it? It's a puzzling question, isn't it? The ability to resist temptation, to persevere through challenges, to consistently choose the long-term reward over immediate gratification. It's these qualities that often distinguish those who achieve their goals from those who fall short, and yet, self-discipline is not a trait we're born with. It can be cultivated, honed, and improved upon. And there's a practical philosophy that can help us in this endeavor. Well, the key might lie in an ancient philosophy called Stoicism. Stoicism, a philosophy born in ancient Greece, emphasizes the development of self-control and fortitude to overcome destructive emotions. Stoicism is more than just a school of thought, it's a way of life. Its foundations were laid by Zeno of Citium in the 3rd century BCE, and its teachings have stood the test of time. Stoicism encourages us to live in harmony with nature, to accept the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. It tells us that the path to peace lies not in reshaping the world to our desires, but in reshaping our desires to the world. One of the core principles of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. This principle guides us to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. Our actions, our responses, our values, these are things we can control. The weather, the passage of time, the actions of others, these are things we cannot. By focusing our energy and attention on what we can change, we free ourselves from the futile struggle of trying to control the uncontrollable. Another cornerstone of Stoicism is living in accordance with nature. But what does that mean? In the Stoic context, nature refers to the natural order of the universe, the rational principle that governs it. We, as rational beings, are a part of this universe, and living in accordance with nature means living rationally, acting virtuously, and accepting our place in the world. Stoicism also teaches us to be indifferent to the things that are not within our control. This doesn't mean apathy or disinterest, rather it's about understanding that these things do not define our worth or happiness. It's about recognizing that our peace of mind comes from within, not from the external world. Stoicism is about accepting life as it is, not as we wish it to be. It's about acknowledging that we cannot control everything and that's okay. It's about finding peace within ourselves and not in the ever-changing, unpredictable world around us. This is the Stoic way, the path to tranquility and self-discipline. So how does Stoicism relate to self-discipline, you may ask? Well, let's dive into that. Stoicism at its core teaches us to accept reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. It's about recognizing that life is full of uncertainties and challenges, and accepting these facts with grace and equanimity. Now, how does this tie into self-discipline? Consider a real-life situation. Imagine you're stuck in a traffic jam, late for an important meeting. Your initial reaction might be frustration, anxiety, even anger. But what can you truly control in this situation? Not the traffic, certainly. Stoicism would guide you to control what you can, your response. Accepting the reality of the situation and choosing to remain calm and collected, that's where self-discipline comes into play. Next, Stoicism emphasizes focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we can't. This principle is a cornerstone of self-discipline. Think about it, self-discipline isn't just about willpower, it's about directing that willpower effectively. It's about knowing where to exert your energy and where not to. It's about choosing to control your actions, your thoughts, your reactions, and not wasting energy on things you can't control. Lastly, the Stoic principle of living in harmony with nature is a powerful tool for fostering self-discipline. To live in harmony with nature is to live in accordance with your true self, to recognize and respect your limitations, to understand your potential, and to strive for growth within these parameters. It's about being honest with yourself, setting realistic goals, and disciplining yourself to stay on the path towards these goals. Take the example of a marathon runner. The runner recognizes their physical limitations, sets a realistic training schedule, and disciplines themselves to stick to it, even on the days when they'd rather stay in bed. They live in harmony with their nature, and through self-discipline, they achieve their goal. Through Stoicism, we learn to react to life's challenges with calmness and discipline, rather than impulsivity and despair. It's a journey of self-discovery, self-control, and ultimately, self-improvement. So, Stoicism and self-discipline, they're more interconnected than you might think. Let's take a look at some real-life examples of people who've applied Stoic principles to build self-discipline. One of our first anecdotes takes us back to ancient Rome, where the philosopher Seneca, a figurehead of Stoicism, faced a life full of adversity. He was exiled not once but twice and endured serious health problems. Yet he never let these obstacles deter him. Instead, he used them as opportunities for growth, demonstrating the power of Stoic discipline. His philosophy? In his own words, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By focusing on what he could control and letting go of what he couldn't, Seneca showcased a remarkable example of Stoic self-discipline. Fast forward to the 21st century, we find another inspiring story in the world of sports. Tom Brady, the renowned American football quarterback, is a modern-day embodiment of Stoic discipline. Despite being picked 199th in the 2000 NFL Draft, Brady didn't let this early setback define him. He practiced Stoic principles, focusing on his ability to improve and perform, rather than dwelling on external factors. Today, he's considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, a testament to the power of Stoic discipline. But you don't have to be a historical figure or a superstar to harness the power of Stoic discipline. Consider Jane, a single mother working 2 jobs while going to night school. She faced countless obstacles, from financial struggles to time constraints. However, she embraced Stoic principles, focusing on what she could control, and accepting what she couldn't. She took things one day at a time, studying during lunch breaks and doing homework after her kids went to sleep. Eventually she earned her degree and secured a better job. Her story is proof that Stoic discipline isn't just for the philosophers or the famous, it's for anyone willing to apply it. Then, there's the tale of John, a former addict who turned his life around using Stoic principles. John's journey was far from easy. He faced relapses, criticism, and self-doubt, but he leaned on Stoic principles to build his self-discipline, focusing on his actions and responses rather than his circumstances. He committed to sobriety one day at a time, accepting his past mistakes but refusing to let them dictate his future. Today, John is a testament to the transformative power of Stoic discipline. As these stories show, Stoic discipline can be a powerful tool for personal growth and achievement. So, what have we learned about Stoic discipline? Today, we journeyed through the intriguing world of Stoicism, dissecting its principles and understanding its role in cultivating self-discipline. The philosophy of Stoicism, with its emphasis on acceptance of reality, has shown us an entirely new perspective on discipline. It's not about resisting the currents of life, but rather learning to navigate them skillfully. We've discovered that the Stoic approach to discipline begins with acceptance. Acceptance of reality, of our circumstances, of the things we cannot change. We learned that this acceptance isn't passive resignation, but a conscious choice that empowers us. It's the realization that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can always control how we respond. That's where true power lies. Then we delved into the Stoic focus on what we can control. We explored how Stoics separate the world into things within their control and things beyond it. We saw how this clear distinction helps us to invest our energy wisely, focusing on actions and attitudes that we can actually influence. This focus nurtures the growth of self-discipline, as we learn to direct our efforts towards meaningful change, rather than wasting energy on uncontrollable circumstances. We also learned about the Stoic principle of living in harmony with nature. This doesn't just mean appreciating the beauty of the natural world, but recognizing and aligning with the inherent flow of life. It's about understanding that life has its cycles, its ebbs and flows, and learning to move with them rather than against them. This harmonious approach fosters a form of discipline that feels natural and sustainable rather than forced and restrictive. Through real-life anecdotes, we saw these principles in action. We witnessed how Stoic discipline can transform challenges into opportunities for growth, and how it can lead to a life of inner peace and resilience. Remember, true self-discipline is not about punishing yourself, but about understanding and aligning with the natural flow of life. That's the Stoic way.